The units don't make sense to me.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Ah, they're gonna turn
Trying
them.
to put us down the barrel.
No, but can they do that? It moved. Another few centimeters. Hey, bit by bit.
That's a lot of bits.
50 centimeters an hour.
If they're lucky, they'll make 5 meters by midnight. They will be close.
Okay, real quick. Pretty cool. Pretty cool that centimeters survived as the length, the unit of length, all the way deep into this galaxy that's far, far away.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. So they said it's 5 centimeters an hour. They're going to make 5 meters by midnight. So they must be 10 hours away. So what is?
Yeah,
why isn't it an angle? They're rotating this thing, right? They're rotating the craft. Why isn't it angle? But I guess it must
centimeters
be,
would be a translation. It would be moving it sideways, not twisting it.
Yeah. So I had this pick over here, looking top down.
Drew pick. Hey, very nice. Very nice.
So the yellow is TIE Fighter. The red is the circle that the TIE Fighter would rotate around in. And the purple arrow is the velocity of the tip, which would be 5 centimeters an hour. Is that what's rotating up?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what they're saying. So if the center of the ship stays fairly stationary, they're going to use these ropes to pull it sideways, pull the wing sideways. And so that would be effectively, as you drew here, it would be pulling the wing to the side. Maybe it would be better if they pulled it a little bit more like to the left, not like 90 degrees is the maximum torque they could generate. They should be pulling across horizontally.
I see. The purple is for the velocity vector of the tip, which should be tangent to the circular motion, even though it's very, very slow. I think they're pulling. Well, okay, if we look at they're pulling in the wrong spots.
They're pulling poorly, yep.
There's one guy at the tip, but there's a lot of people pulling near the middle, which is ineffective.
Whew, gosh. Okay, so how do I feel about this? So here's the tip of the wing, and here's the base, I guess, where it connects. And you really want to work the tip, because the tip is where you have this longest moment arm, and so that's how you get the most force. So it's like if I were to bend my finger by applying force at the tip, that's much easier for the force applying finger than if I were to try to bend my finger from down here. I can like push hard down at the base where it connects, but I need to use a lot of force to get the same amount of torque versus pushing at the tip.
Yeah.
So
if
these
you're at the
rebels,
tip, you're working that tip hard. You have a limited force because you're a single human body.
Yep.
So for that force, you have a maximum force you can exert. The highest torque would be at the tip.
At the tip, and so they should be standing over here somewhere, pulling the ropes. That's how they're going to generate the max torque, the max rotation force.
Right. In fact, they should be working all 8 tips.
That's right. They should connect 1, 2, 3, 4 strings here, and maybe if they can, 1, 2, 3, 4 strings on the back, and work the front. Work it from the front and the back, all the tips. That being said,
all the way.
This if you put a rope on the tip here and try to pull sideways, that puts the most stress on the wing.
Yep.
So you might get flexiness. It won't be as strong and hard all the way at the tip. So you may want to work the base, maybe
3/4 of the way up, maybe where it's strong, but you sort of got this balance between strength, and torque.
Right.
You go too far to the tip, it's flaccid. If you go too far to the base, you don't get any torque. So you go
well, the base here, if you were to put ropes here and work the base, there's this additional moment arm. It's hard to see from this here. Oh, here we go. Here's the base of the wing. There's an additional moment arm here that you could apply a rope to before you get to the ball. And definitely, if you're pulling on the ball, there's no chance you're not going to rotate this. Right. The cockpit, the ball here. So I guess they really should be working the tip. The 5 centimeters. Go ahead. What I figured what they meant by 5 centimeters is if you were to like hang a plumb bob, hang like a rock from a string, and so it's sitting here, then they like pull, and then that plumb bob would move over by 5 centimeters. The plumb bob like a string hanging from a rock hanging from a string, and it really tells you like what's straight up and down. Which if you try to put a ruler, like the ruler may not be straight or whatever.
I mean, okay, that was my question, and you answered it. How are they measuring the centimeter movement? Because I don't see these guys aren't like, let's get a string with a plumb bob tied down to make sure we get an accurate measurement. Make sure the center doesn't slide so we get an accurate measurement of rotation. They're not doing any of this. Why are they getting? Where are they getting these numbers from?
What if they're like 5 centimeters? Like the base of the wing here has scratched the dirt and is moved by 5 centimeters. But actually, 5 centimeters at this distance is a huge angle.
That's right. And but how could you tell the difference between that and a translation? Like if you're actually pulling on this thing, it could slide.
That's
and then
true.
You're misinterpreting a translation as a rotation, and you haven't moved it at all.
Yep.
It's amateur night.
So you're saying that every rebel squad, what is this guy doing?
Wait, where is he pulling? What is that?
He's got a pulley setup system. You got a pulley system over here.
Oh.
Start running that cable back and forth. Use some mechanical advantage. What are you doing?
There's no way he has a pulley ready to go. That's like wrapped around a tree, and the friction is just, he's doing nothing.
Friction doing nothing. So what we're saying here is that every rebel squad, just like any military squad, should have a couple sappers, a couple engineers walking around here thinking, how can we make this better?
Probably. Is that what they're called? Sappers?
I don't know. So I learned of goblin sappers from Warcraft. No, from Warcraft 2. And then at some point I looked it up, and I think sappers were like the military engineers that carried dynamite to blow up fortifications. I think they're just called combat engineers now, because you're not always sapping the defenses. Like you could be building a bridge or whatever, right? And also, I don't think they're attached with combat units. I think but they're not in the combat unit. They're attached to, they follow nearby. I'm not a military guy, but I think that's right.
Yeah, but they need something like that because they need some help.
Yeah, just a couple guys to hang out in the back and come up with solutions, figure things out.
Right.
I guess with the centimeters, like if they're saying that this thing has rotated a few centimeters every like hour or whatever, they could they're implying this moment arm here. Which then you can do a arc length S equals R theta.
Right.
Yeah.
Assuming it's rotating around the center, which might not be the case because the center doesn't actually it doesn't come in contact with the ground. It's the tip. It's the underside of the wings.
Right.
That
they're not pulling horizontally here in the air. They're pulling it down and horizontally, which may make the far side lift a little bit.
Yep. So you sort of lift up onto an edge, and then you rotate around that. So the math might get tricky.
Yeah, agreed. These people are doing nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. Here's the best place. Work the tip.
Best place. Yeah.